Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm in the same outfit as last week. Like I said in that video, I'm traveling, so I'm back to recording a lot of my YouTube videos. So I'm doing an email listener question today. And if you have a question you want to submit to the show, you can send it in Dani@thehasociety.com. I keep a little folder full of the questions and bang them out, try to answer everyone's question. Or you can comment on the YouTube description below, or you can even send us a DM on Instagram at Dani Sheriff or at the HA Society. Okay, let's dive in. We have a question from Maddie in New Zealand. So Maddie says, "Hi Dani, I wasn't sure where to ask this question, but honestly, I'm so desperate for any guidance on what to do, I figured, why not?" It's a great place to ask this question. I am a 21-year-old female from New Zealand. I was diagnosed with PCOS at 15 when, after having also gone through a traumatic surgery, as I presented with high testosterone symptoms such as a mild hirsutism, severe acne, and no period, but always within normal ranges in lab tests. I was put on the pill, gained weight, and saw some improvements, but still experienced all the same issues. I went off the pill 2 years ago and had the worst PCOS symptoms and never got my period back, yet I was still small and highly stressed. I was put on spiro, which is an anti-androgen, and also gained some weight, and this helped everything, but still no period. I was referred to an endocrinologist, which was literally all my savings as a student. Oh, damn. I did the progesterone test with no withdrawal bleed, and he referred me through the public system for more testing, which will take up to 6 months. In the meantime, I found resources such as your own and figured I may as well try them. I ate a very nutrient-dense, balanced diet, but I'm slim but not underweight anymore at all. However, I have the worst anxiety and high stress, which I have tried everything to manage. I don't really know what to do, as I feel like I'm doing everything right with no results. But maybe I'm kidding myself that it may be HA instead of PCOS, despite the higher androgen symptoms. Okay, all of this is so highly distressing and upsetting me. I have no idea what to do. All the PCOS advice tells me to take heaps of supplements and eat super clean, but I just feel this is not the right advice for me considering my history. Perhaps it could be both HA and PCOS. In this case, what advice am I supposed to follow? I would really appreciate some advice as what to do, as I'm feeling so very lost. Okay. It's tough because you haven't given me any numbers. You haven't given me any lab work, you haven't given me any weights, heights, things like that. So I'm going to take all your word on this, okay? And I'm going to insert caveats of like, but if this isn't true, you know? Okay, so first of all, I really am hoping with my whole deep soul that the only thing your endocrinologist did is not put you on the Provera challenge, see that you didn't pass, and refer you for further testing. And that's what you've paid for with all of your money. That's a hope that I have for you. Your gynecologist could give you Provera. Probably a lot of regular doctors could give you progesterone. So I really hope that that wasn't all of your money and that there were other things involved in that. But that, that would hurt me. Okay. So it's possible you have both PCOS and HA. We do have clients with PCOS and HA, and we do have some that are symptomatic of the both. So the fact that you've had no period for a long time is an indicator of HA, and all of the androgen symptoms would be PCOS, and they're not going to read on your lab work if you have PCOS because the HA is going to suppress it. So with our clients who have both, we see the reproductive hormones suppressed like HA, so they're either going to be in the normal range or maybe low, but we will still see those other indicators of PCOS like androgens, testosterone, the FSH to LH ratio perhaps. We will see evidence in insulin, in fasting glucose, but we need all that information to know. So your first step 2 will be to go and get all of that and look at it. The challenge is always making sure that someone is looking at it from both lenses. But what I will tell you is if you really do get that PCOS diagnosis and they're just like not even listening about the HA because they're like, you can't have both or something like that, you still, if you haven't had a period in years, I'm trying to see, I'm not sure how long you've had without one. I don't think it says, but you have to resolve it first, or you can't get to the PCOS. It's like a brick wall of layers, and you have to get through that first layer, which is HA, to even reach your PCOS. You know, there's really no point, in my personal opinion, of trying to resolve PCOS. The same reasons you're saying, it's just not going to be helpful, right? And there's also a lot of other information out there that's not saying eat crazy clean and diet harder to manage PCOS. There are other opinions out there. Dr. Heather Rhodes is a really great online resource for PCOS. I've had her on the show. If you scroll back, we have a couple episodes about HA and PCOS, and you'll find that the management for both of them is not crazy dissimilar. So I want you to know that if you go on the HA route, you're not harming your PCOS. I hate when people say that. I hate when they think that. So it is, you know, you have said like, I'm definitely not underweight. I don't have any idea of what you weigh, anything like that. But I'm going to ask you, are you absolutely sure? If you are coming at me 5'3", 58 kilos, I'm going to say no. If you're coming at me 5'3", 65 kilos, I'm still going to say, listen, I know you want to not surpass that amount, but we do not get to say what is enough. Whenever someone is like, you know, I'm a healthy weight, like it's not relevant sometimes. Like the 150 times out of 156, I don't know. It's irrelevant to the conversation. Because we're not seeing, you know, if you have a history of what you have, ED wise, and you like that, you're never going to be a good judge of that. You're never going to be a good judge of what is enough. Like we don't get to decide that. The body went through traumatic stress. It changed on a cellular level. Your metabolism is doing something else as opposed to what it was originally planning to do when you were born. And we have to sit in the surrender of letting it do what it's going to do. So just in case you're actually a totally normal, reasonable weight, I'm going to push back on that piece and say that that's been inserted into this email so that you don't have to gain weight. You might have to gain weight, and that is just how it is, right? Okay, and also remember, like, weight could be a kilo, weight could be 2 kilos. Can we stop blowing it up to like 20 in our minds? You know, could it happen? Yeah, but we can't think about things that are not gonna, like, that we don't have any evidence of or that are gonna happen. And my question to you is as well, deep down inside, are you really, really going to let 5 kilos, 10 kilos, 15 kilos get in the way of your long-term health, your ability to have a child? Are those things really going to be what's in the way of that? If so, do what you gone, you know, okay? At that point, if you're like, no, I'm gonna control this to the nth degree, that's your prerogative, but you don't also get to say, and I refuse to take the medical route, and I refuse to do this and that. It's gonna be, I'm gonna do it exactly how I wanna do it. Like, look at all the rules and limitations that we put on ourselves, right? This isn't just you at this point, Maddie. This is just like so many of us. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and I want this result. Go. Fix me, Dani. No. You know, something's got to give. We're going to have to be reasonable, right? A condition here or there, I get it. You know, we have our vegetarians, we have our people still exercising, but everything else has to happen. You don't get to tell me, hey, I'm gonna exercise and I refuse weight gain. That's not part of the deal, because we don't have that kind of control. So, Maddie, you need to get all your lab work done, you know, but work on the HA piece. Once you've resolved that and gotten your first period, okay, you know. And then I will say, all right, the last thing I want to say, because I would hate to gaslight anyone, is we actually have seen one case in practice of someone with HA and PCOS, and the PCOS symptoms are so bad that we're having a really hard time getting the HA through. The level of trauma and what this person has been through, both on a physical and emotional level of trauma through her whole life, is so deep. But the PCOS is confirmed through other lab work that we've done every lab test under the sun. We're currently in the review process, but I will say I have seen it, right? And it's hard and it's severe. She's had a handful of periods over time in the past 5 years or so. But like really getting that thing to come online on a regular basis with all she's been through, like it's just been a deep path, and it will involve a lot of nutritional therapy. And we're doing that through like HTMA, Dutch test, we would typically not pull out all those stops for a client. Typically not going to be necessary. But in this case it is. So like that level of severity is there, but I've seen it one time in all of the clients that we've had. One time. So throwing it out there, you know, you're not crazy if you really, really resonate with that. Let's talk, but you're not going to be able to resolve that without hiring help. I just think it's a really, really hard thing to resolve on your own. You want to at least get the testing and get the correct supplementation happening, because there are sometimes things that you just shouldn't be taking or eating in situations like that. So that's something to consider. And if you feel like you land on that side of the spectrum, definitely be reaching out to practitioners, do multiple calls, discovery calls with them. Those are usually free. Find out their perspective on it, who they've worked with, how many people with this situation that they've resolved. If you have the PCOS, I would recommend reaching out to someone like Dr. Heather Rhodes for sure. And then if you resonate more with that, the whole rant I did on the very first part of this conversation of like, we can't control everything. You need to just resolve the HA. If we have to cross the PCOS bridge after it, we will go into PCOS management, but we have to resolve HA. If that's more your situation, I would book a call with us. So go to thehasociety.com/coaching and review. You may not have, the financial resources, and I get that. But if you do, I would look at that. We also do just one-time consultations with some people. That's like a full intake process, recommendations, and a call. So we can go through their lab work with you, and that could be solid. So you could go get all your lab work through your doctor, book the call with us when you have it, send it, and we'll go through it with you to make heads or tails. And that's like $185. So there are options out there, but I hope that this was even remotely helpful. I don't think it was probably all the answers that you wanted to hear. I don't know, but I hope there's some next steps in there that are beneficial for you. If this video was helpful to you guys, please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. I love it. And submit your questions to me for a future episode. And I'll see you guys next week. Mwah.